Hey, hi. Just got done telling you about when I got my license in my car. So, after I saw my brothers and got all that fixed up, and I packed up my car and I went to Florida. And I stayed with Chris's mom for a while, and that got very awkward because I just was starting to feel like it ain't gonna work, and it didn't. And a matter of fact, coming attractions is that last time with Chris was the last time. I mean, we talked on the phone and we visited, but there was never any more relationship. So I went to Florida and I worked in restaurants, waitressing again. I kind of liked it. It was fast and easy, not easy, but it was for the money. It was great fun, and I met a lot of fun people. I worked at the coolest place in Miami. It was in the not the basement, but the first floor of a grand hotel. It was called the Pub, and it was fancy smancy. I'm telling you what. And I learned really what they call fine dining serving. Before, it was just, schlocking on, the pancakes and eggs on the table. Now I learned fine dining. I learned about the timing of aperitifs and all, how to bring up the bar bill. I learned very fine dining. And I loved working at the pub and met a girl there who got me involved in going to this conference. And it was some spiritual thing, and I had a conversion experience, and it was amazing. And after that, I stopped wearing my bikini to the beach. I started wearing a cover up. I got very modest. I started dressing like Little House on the Prairie. I started going to church every Sunday. Yeah, I had a big conversion down in Florida, and so I really wanted to talk about that. It changed me. I felt a sense of forgiveness. And, some of the faiths, it's about up here. But for my life and all the craziness, I needed connection and I needed forgiveness. And I had that. And that was a great experience. And I carry that with me to this day. Now, did I stay that way? Well, you might have guessed the end of that story. No, I didn't. I had friends come visit from New Jersey. It seems like when you live in Florida, all of a sudden you have all these friends. But friends that I worked with when I was at Farrell's, they came to visit, and that was hysterical. But guess what? I got tempted. And I don't even know if they still have it in Florida, but there was a bar chain called Big Daddy's, and they were all over. They're in North Miami Beach, Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale. There was just a string of Big Daddies, and on certain days they had well drinks that were dirt cheap. And so I got this notion I had to take my friends from New Jersey around and show them the ropes. And we went to Fort Lauderdale and we hit Big Daddy's. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I drank. I'm sorry. Yeah, you couldn't even call it recovery. I wasn't going to a recovery program. I just kind of held on to the religion without any grounding or any tools. Anyway, so that pretty much accounts for those years. A lot of stuff on and off happened. Crazy hair. Look at that. I'm sorry. All right, guys, I'm trying to keep them short and sweet. So I spent some time in New Jersey working at Farrell, saved up, got a car, and then went to Florida for a while and wound up moving in with some friends. And then I got my own place. Oh, I got my own, not my own place, but I've rented like a studio room from this lady named Mrs. Hendrickson, and her husband and her father and grandfather were like sort of the founder builders of Miami and North Miami and Hialeah. And she had in her living room, it was old fashioned pictures of them with the old mayor and building committees. And I felt tied in because remember, my grandmother lived in Florida back in those days. Not She lived in Tampa on the other side, but my grandmother was the first female land surveyor for quite a while. And so I felt like, wow, my gram helped set up Florida, and this woman did too. So it was kind of like a touch of that. It was really kind of fun living there. And she had this garden, and I love my garden now. And I don't know if it was from her directly because I didn't garden much after that, but she had a plant, and boy, if I can ever figure out the name, it only bloomed every 7 years, and it only had like 3 pieces of fruit on it, but it would taste like a banana almost, not a plantain, but it only had fruit on it every 7 years. And she shared that with me. And I just considered that part of my blessings. Yeah, I had a nice time at Mrs. Hendrickson's and working at the pub. I had some like not so good stuff, but you know what? All in all, I that conversion really began. I mean, the road was going to be hard to, plow, but it started something. Maybe it even started in the Garden of Gethsemane. Remember that guy? He really shocked me, and that was still with me too. So anyway, okay, that's the end of that one. And coming attractions are when I go back to New Jersey. Aha! And then there was this guy, and I married this guy. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's coming attractions. I'll do that probably later today because I have company coming. Yay!